Welcome to the 2026 doctoral commencement ceremony for the University of Southern California's Rossier School of Education. Our procession includes the dean, associate deans, faculty, board of counselors, special guests, and this year's graduates of the USC Rossier School. The procession will now begin. Please keep the aisles clear. Please welcome the Emery Stoops and Joyce King Stoops, Dean of the USC Rossier School of Education, Pedro A. Nagura.
Greetings, class of 2026. Please be seated. I'm honored to welcome you, our graduates, your families and friends to the USC campus today. It's truly wonderful to be here with you to celebrate the achievements of the class of 2026. Let me begin by recognizing that we occupy land originally and still inhabited and cared for by the Tongva, Tataviam, Serrano, Keys, and Chumash peoples. We honor and pay respect to their elders and descendants, past, present, and emerging, for they showed us how to live in harmony with these lands and waters. And if we had learned from their example, we might not be faced with the environmental hazards that now threaten our way of life. On behalf of the faculty, staff, alumni, and friends of the USC Rossier School of Education, I offer our heartiest congratulations to the graduates. Today we salute you, and to all the people who have supported you in fulfilling your educational goals, thank you. I would like to acknowledge our special guest on the platform here today. Our distinguished guests include our members of the Board of Counselors. Would you please stand? Alana Glossenberg, Maggie Chidester, Gary Crisp, Yasmin Davids, Lynn Jacobson, Patrick Liu, Michael Lisaraga, Richard Roger, Cherie Speakman. Can you please stand? Thank you for being with us on this important day. I would also like to acknowledge our two esteemed faculty members who are joining us for their final commencement ceremony before their retirement. Professors Gail Sinatra, a distinguished professor and the Stephen H. Crocker Chair and Professor of Education Psychology. Where is Gail? And Lawrence Pikus, the Richard T. Cooper and Mary Catherine Cooper Chair in Public School Administration and Professor of Education, Finance, and Policy at the USC Rossier School of Education. They have both left an indelible mark on our institution and the broader education community. We congratulate them on their retirement and thank them for their outstanding contributions to the field of education. Today, we are awarding 232 doctoral degrees. Including the PhD in Education and Urban Education Policy, the EdD in Education Leadership, the Global Executive EdD, the EdD in Organizational Change and Leadership, OCL has a lot of energy today. When you cross the stage today, it will signify a tremendous accomplishment. After countless hours of work, you've achieved your goal of graduating as professionals from USC Rossier. All of you now join approximately 2% of the adult population of the United States with a doctoral degree. Today, we celebrate your achievement and look forward to seeing the positive contributions you will make to society. When you cross the stage today, I want you to take in what this moment means. Remember, commencement means beginning. Therefore, this is not simply the conclusion of your studies at USC Rossier or the culmination of years of sacrifice. Of course, it is all that, and you deserve credit for the determination, persistence, and intellectual growth you have demonstrated to get to this ceremony. Many of you balanced full-time employment with your academic career. Others raised families while writing papers or completing clinical hours. And many of you drove across the city before dawn and stayed on Zoom calls late at night to complete coursework. Today we honor you because you did more than merely survive this program. You thrived in it. But again, I want to remind you about the word commencement. While you're concluding your period of formal study at Rossier, now you get to begin applying all of the knowledge you've gained from your studies to your life's work. Beyond that, I want to encourage you to keep learning. Learning doesn't stop when you earn your degree. In fact, with the advent of artificial intelligence, we must all commit to learning that will allow us to maintain an advantage over the bots and AI tools that are being developed to eliminate millions of jobs. This is not a threat, but a warning for all of us because we are at a significant inflection point in the future of this country. If you use ChatGPT for a list of the jobs that are most likely to be eliminated by AI, you will find at least 40 white-collar professions. Just in the last few weeks, we've heard about billion-dollar tech companies laying off thousands of employees. How will you stay gainfully employed? What will you do to ensure that you do not become obsolete in the workforce? Not a minor question. None of us voted for the tech companies to unleash AI, or to steal our data, or to further damage our environment and consume precious water that we need to survive. Like it or not, ready or not, AI is here. So what do? I believe we have got to get better at doing the things AI cannot do. What, might you ask, is the unique human advantage that AI cannot replicate? I will give you 4 human attributes that I believe constitute the human advantage over AI. These are emotional intelligence, listening to your gut, tapping into the power of empathy to build strong, caring relationships with others. Intuition, tapping into your ability to look for signs and indicators to make wise decisions. Imagination and creativity, that unique human trait that each of us has, especially when we were young, but some of us lost sight of when we got older. You're going to need to think outside the box to generate new ideas before AI can consume them. And most of all, common sense. Now, as we know, common sense isn't really that common. But if you can conjure it and cultivate it so that you can get good at discerning patterns and reading people and places, you'll be better off. Truthfully, there's no guarantee that by developing these attributes, you'll avoid being replaced by AI. But what's the alternative? The human ability to learn is our superpower. And if we can frame the challenges facing the world as learning challenges, we'll be better positioned to respond to climate change, to war, to poverty, political violence, with courage, intelligence, rather than fear. Let me share a short poem from the Sufi mystic, Bawa Mayagidin. Please forgive the spiritual content. He says, "For those of you who have come to grow, the world is a garden. For those who have come to learn, the whole world is a university. For those who have come to know God, the whole world is a prayer mat." I encourage you to make the world your university now and commit yourself to lifelong learning. It is the key to continuous growth. As you know, the cornerstone of USC's mission is to prepare leaders who will advance equity through practice, research, service, and policy. Rossier prepares leaders who fight on despite the obstacles that obstruct our paths and limit us. That mission extends well beyond the classroom. It shows up in the organizations and institutions where our alumni lead and where you will soon work and strive to make a difference. You leave us knowing how to ask smart questions. You know how to extract evidence from rigorous research. You know that behind every data point, every client case, and every organizational chart is a human being with a story worth understanding and honoring. Do not let anyone take that knowledge from you. Do not be afraid to use it. Let us take a moment to acknowledge the people in the seats behind you who made your journey possible. The partners, the parents, the abuelos, abuelas, the children, the mentors. Please stand up and give them a hand. Their love and support made this day possible too. I'm also mindful that some of you may be tired. You've completed a challenging course of study, so you deserve a break. But many of you won't get a break. You have to go right back to work. And work is often demanding, even in ordinary times. And these are not ordinary times. So I want to remind you of something we say at USC Rossier and mean. You are never alone. You are now members of the Trojan family. A network of educators, clinicians, researchers, organizational change leaders, and advocates who share your values and your commitment. Lean on each other. Build coalitions. Seek out the colleagues and collaborators who will sustain you when the work is hard. Solidarity turns individual effort into lasting change. The USC Rossier's faculty are a critical part of that network. Let us thank them for their guidance and support. Stand up, give the faculty a big cheer. Thank you. Let us also thank the staff who are here today and who are not seen but who work hard to keep this school going. Finally, I want to wish each of you good health and courage as you leave us. In the words of the Hopi elders, you are the ones we've been waiting for. I hope you will experience joy and satisfaction from the work you do, even if you don't get rich doing it. You chose this school because you believe that the work of developing human potential is among the most important jobs there is. We believe that too, and we believe in you. This is the beginning. Fight on. So today's ceremony is rich in its tradition, and it's become a tradition here at Rossier for a faculty member to describe the symbolic meanings embedded in university commencement ceremonies. Taking on this role, maybe for the last time, is Dr. Larry Pikus, Professor of Education and Finance Policy, the Richard T. Cooper and Mary Catherine Cooper Chair in Public School Administration. Please welcome Dr. Pikus.
Thank you, Dean Noguera. I'm a little worried he keeps emphasizing the last time here today. As you march in academic procession on commencement day, you wear the caps and gowns of a long tradition. Your academic regalia is not merely a costume, it represents an unbroken chain in uniting students and scholars since the time of the Middle Ages. This costume has emerged from centuries of tradition in Great Britain, where each university adopted its own costume. In 1895, American institutions created the Intercollegiate Code. It regulates the design or patterns of gowns and hoods and the colors that can be used. This code remains substantially intact today. Now, if you've been to one of our commencements before, you know at this point I get to ask for two carefully pre-selected volunteers to come up and help show off the components of the costume. And so for this, I'd like to ask Arvik Anapiosian from the Global EdD to come up, and Michael Alcala from the EDL to come up. If you'd come up so you can help us. And I promise this really is a great honor. Right there. Stand right there in front so everybody can see you. So you know that really was a surprise for them. Caps. Typically, the Oxford or mortarboard cap is worn. A recent exception is the wearing of a soft doctor's cap made of velvet. The tassel is black at USC for bachelor's and master's degrees. Doctors and governing officials only may wear a tassel of gold metallic thread. It is customary to leave the tassel draped over the left temple at all times. Gowns. The gowns for bachelors are black and have long pointed sleeves. Master's gown, also black, is made with an oblong sleeve. The doctor's gown is an elaborate costume marked by velvet panels down the front and around the neck, as well as by 3 bars of the same material on the bell-shaped sleeves. It is cut much fuller than the other gowns and may be ornamented in color. USC is among a handful of universities which permit other than black doctoral gowns. Our gown was designed for the inauguration of President James Zumberg in 1981. Hoods. Of all the components of the costume, the hood is the most symbolic. It makes clear the level of the degree, the faculty, and the institution which awarded it. The degree is shown by the size of the hood, the width of the velvet trimming, and, in the case of doctors, by the shape. Your hoods are lined in cardinal and gold, USC's colors. The velvet trimming of royal blue signifies the PhD degree. The trimming of light blue signifies the EdD degree. There's several other symbols all around today. There's the heraldic mace. USC's mace is a ceremonial scepter symbolizing the authority which has established the university's charter in 1880. The mace dates back to the 13th century as symbols of royal authority. The chair of the academic center has the honor of serving as mace bearer in the academic procession. You'll probably have to wait till tomorrow's ceremony if you attend to see that. I think it only is for the main ceremony. The heraldic flags. A flag has been designed for each academic unit which confers degrees at USC and is carried by a student at commencement. So it's here, I know somewhere. The Rossier School of Education's banner includes the academic color of light blue. The 4 quadrants of the flag are adorned by 2 panels showing the book, illuminated by the lamp of learning, the traditional symbol of education. The 3rd panel is occupied by the sun, symbolizing light and warmth and affection extended by USC to the student community. The 4th panel includes a torch of learning. The university seal, which dates back to 1955, depicts 3 torches: arts, sciences, and philosophy. The California poppy, the university flower, and a setting sun, symbolizing the vitality of the West. The torches are symbolic of learning, the sun is the symbol of power and life, and the poppy is the symbol of growth. The university's motto, translated from Latin, is "Let him bear the palm who merits it." Finally, in answer to the question you often ask, will you make a copy of this and put it on Brightspace? The answer is, it's printed in the USC commencement program online, so go forth and celebrate the day.
Thank you, Larry. He's so good at that. He finds a way to bring humor to everything. I would now like to introduce Dr. Kathy Stowe, our Associate Dean for Academic Programs, who present our 2026 Dissertation of Distinction Awards. Kathy?
All right, let's get this energy going, right? So here we go. Woo! Congratulations, graduates. It is now my privilege to recognize 4 graduates with our 2026 Dissertations of Distinction Awards. This year's honorees come from both the class of 2025 and the class of 2026, and we are extremely proud to celebrate their scholarship and contributions. Our PhD dissertation of distinction is presented to Dr. Emily Ann Gonzalez for her dissertation, Human Development at the Heart, a multi-case study of innovative teaching in a public secondary school district, chaired by Dr. Mary Helen Imordino Yang. Congratulations, Dr. Gonzalez. Our EDL dissertation of distinction is presented to Dr. Amanda Yamilet Peralta for her dissertation toward bridging the digital use divide in K-12, facilitating transformative learning for an education technology professional development provider, chaired by Dr. Jen Crawford. Congratulations, Dr. Peralta. Our first OCL dissertation of distinction is presented to Noor Soraya Ayadun Ali for her dissertation, Resilience of American Muslim Women Leaders in Nonprofit Organizations, chaired by Dr. Esther Kim. Congratulations. Our final OCL dissertation of distinction is presented to Dr. Zuleka Nafu for her dissertation, When the Story Strikes Back, the Impact of Work Trauma on Journalists, chaired by Dr. Monique Dada. Congratulations, Dr. Nafu. All right, so please join me in congratulating all the dissertations of distinction honorees. Once more, here we go, woo!
Okay. Thank you, Kathy. Today, we also pause to honor the dissertation of someone who's not here to walk across the stage, but whose presence is deeply felt at this gathering and whose work will continue to echo far beyond. It is my profound privilege to posthumously present a dissertation of distinction and recognition to Dr. Christine Thomas, doctoral graduate of our Organizational and Community Leadership Program. Let's give her a big hand. The title of her dissertation was A Holistic Investigation of Psychiatric Advanced Directives in Oregon State, and her dissertation chair was Marja Bovea Reggio. Thank you, Marja. Here? Yes. There she is. Thank you. Christine's work was deeply human. She set out to examine the systemic barriers in knowledge, in motivation, and in practice that prevent psychiatric advance directives from reaching the people who need them most. These are documents that allow individuals to plan for their own mental health care in advance. In the wrong system, they gather dust. Christine believed they could be something far more, a tool of empowerment, of voice, and of self-determination. Her degree was conferred posthumously in 2025 while she is not here today. Her scholarship lives on in the conversation she has sparked, the students she has inspired, and the questions she asked that still deserve answers. We are honored to recognize her today with the dissertation of distinction. Please join me in a moment of gratitude for Dr. Christine Thomas. It is now my honor to introduce today's featured speaker, Dr. Robert Cohen. Professor Cohen is a professor of history and social studies at New York University. His historical scholarship focuses on social protest, higher education, and the Black freedom struggle in the 20th century. He is a leading historian of American student movements in the 1960s, especially the campus struggle for freedom and of speech and against racism. His most recent book, Confronting Jim Crow, Race, Memory, and the University of Georgia in the 20th Century, won the Lillian Smith Book Award last year. His biography of Berkeley free speech movement leader Mario Savio, Freedom's Orator, was adopted by UC Berkeley for its On the Same Page Common Reading program and distributed to all incoming students and the faculty at Berkeley on the 50th anniversary of the free speech movement. He was a senior fellow last year at the University of California's National Center for Free Speech and Civic Engagement, exploring the campus free speech crises of 1964 and 2024. His latest historical book, Not Dreaming, Martin Luther King Jr.'s Critique of America, will be published next October. Cohen's social studies teaching and scholarship are aimed at fostering historical debate in high school classrooms by connecting teachers and students to historians and topics that intolerant politicians have sought to ban. This work has been reflected in his recent books, Rethinking America's Past, Howard Zinn's A People History of the United States in the Classroom and Beyond, Teaching LGBTQ plus History in High Schools, Practical Strategies and Voices of Experience. Please join me in welcoming my friend and colleague, Professor Robert Cohen.
Thank you, Pedro. It's an honor to speak with you at your doctoral graduation. These ceremonies are joyful and meaningful, honoring you graduates for your hard work and contributions to the search for new knowledge. So the word for the day is congratulations. Commencement ceremonies also have added significance, especially in times of crisis, enabling historians like me to gauge America's political mood by analyzing graduation speeches and reactions to them. Since our nation is in crisis now, let's look at examples of how this worked in the past and how it works or doesn't work in the present. The 1960s yielded many controversial graduation speeches. Consider Wellesley College's keynote speaker in 1969, Senator Edward Brooke. He denounced the campus anti-Vietnam War movement, but was surprised moments later to be rebutted by Wellesley College's student government president, Hillary Rodham, who you know as Hillary Clinton. She departed from her prepared remarks to defend the campus peace movement. A year earlier, at Berkeley in 1968, they held an unofficial commencement ceremony, the Vietnam commencement, with speakers praising the hundreds of graduating students who pledged to refuse military service in a war they regarded as unjust. Very controversial. The most eloquent graduation speech on the 60s racial justice struggle on campus came from the great Afro-American journalist Charlene Hunter Galt. She recalled her painful experiences breaking the University of Georgia's color line, including witnessing a racist riot outside of her dormitory her first week of classes in January 1961. Hunter Galt criticized the continuing underrepresentation of African Americans on university faculties, urging that we confront honestly and learn from the South's racist history, in which, as Hunter Galt put it, everyone wrapped themselves in the Confederate flag except the black citizens who washed and ironed it. Perhaps the most significant thing about these 20th century graduation speeches was that the speakers had the freedom to give them. None were censored or punished for expressing controversial views. But what has happened to such freedom in America? Is this still the land of the free, home of the brave? Maybe not. Recently, universities have stifled student dissent. Last May, my university, NYU, withheld Logan Roso's degree because his graduation speech criticized the war on Gaza. NYU now requires canned student graduation speeches, videotaped in advance to prevent such spontaneous, controversial remarks. Similarly, here at USC in 2024, there was the cancellation of the valedictorian Asna Tabasam's speech because she planned to denounce that same war. So there's been repression of student dissent, even at graduations, from coast to coast. We need to restore free speech. Whether you agree... Whether you agree or disagree with the speaker is not the issue. Freedom is the issue. And so is education. Listening opens up the possibility of learning, as implied by the great jurist Learned Hand, who said, "The spirit of liberty is the spirit that is not too sure that it is right." Let's heed Berkeley's free speech movement Mario Savio leaders' warning that free speech violations endanger not just First Amendment principle, but our very humanity. Citing Diogenes' inspiring line that the most beautiful thing in the world is the freedom of speech, Savio explained, "Those words are in me, burned into my soul, because to me, freedom of speech represents the very dignity of what a human being is. That's what marks us off from the stones and the stars," Savio said. "You can speak freely. It's almost impossible for me to describe," Savio concluded. "It is the thing that marks us as just below the angels." There is, of course, more to graduation than speeches. Aside from honoring academic achievement, these ceremonies unite us with family and friends of you graduates. Their love and support enables you to complete that long, difficult road to a doctorate. The way I think about this, and how you might too, is the way that Martin Luther King did in his Nobel Prize speech in Oslo in 1964. Dr. King took the time to credit those outside the spotlight, activists whose labor and sacrifice proved crucial to his historic victories. King said that when he traveled on a jet, he was always mindful that though the pilot was the most prominent crew member, it took many people to make a successful journey possible. The work of the unknown ground crew, as Savio put it, was crucial to the jet's safe operation. So King concluded it would be wrong to honor him as the freedom movement's most prominent pilot without honoring the movement's ground crew. Similarly, on graduation day, thanks are owed to your ground crew, loved ones indispensable to your success. Let's take a moment to applaud those whose love and support made your doctoral graduation possible. Great. I'd like to conclude by sharing some of Dr. King's other relevant insights for this day. He warned those with advanced degrees to be wary of elitism. Keep this in mind, graduates, as you enter the educational elite. You've earned your doctorates at a time when demagogues fan resentment of the university by caricaturing it as decadently liberal and woke. Far more genuine and troubling is the fact that many Americans' only contact with elite universities comes when their college-age sons and daughters get rejection notices from them. All this makes it crucial that you put your knowledge to the service of the public. We should, as King suggested, be true to the democratic ideal, recognizing, as King put it, that in terms of human worth, the person with no D, meaning no degree, is as significant as the PhD, that the person who had been to no house is as significant as the person who had been to Morehouse. Morehouse College was Dr. King's alma mater. King stressed that academia did not have a monopoly on wisdom, that he learned a great deal from those who didn't have the opportunity to get an education, but who had something deep down within that led them to wisdom. Though rejecting elitism MLK praised highly educated professionals like you, who used their expertise in the struggle to free America from ignorance, poverty, war, and racism. Today, when universities are condemned for championing diversity, equity, and inclusion, let's recall MLK's advice that positive leadership involves sometimes it involves sailing against the winds of public opinion and defying self-centered, bigoted politicians. When our research and experience teach us that xenophobia, transphobia, and banning books on racism harm schools and students, we ought to stand up and say so. Not cower, as all too many college presidents have, in deferring to White House white ribbons politics by purging diversity programs. Even erasing the word diversity from campus offices. In criticizing such timid leadership in his day, MLK observed that cowardice asked the question, is it expedient? And then expedience comes along and asks the question, is it politic? Vanity asks the question, is it popular? But conscience asks the question, is it right? There comes a time, King concluded, when one must take a position that is neither safe nor politic nor popular, but do so because it's right. For us, this means that when we find schools and America itself on the wrong track, we have an obligation to speak truth to power, as MLK did when he took his unpopular position against the Vietnam War. It means for us puncturing the right-wing myth that ending diversity programs somehow aligns with MLK's dream of America free of racism, when in fact King praised what he termed the beauty of diversity, and pushed for government intervention against racial discrimination. Speaking of beauty, you education doctoral students radiate it in your passion for educational reform, your probing of how school problems can be solved. You display concern for equity, since, as your dean, Pedro Noguera, has stressed, even in the worst of times, public schools in serving the poor are the most enduring part of America's social safety net. Much of your educational research and practice has an anti-poverty emphasis, enabling you in your work to help revive America's waning war on poverty. So you graduates are morally aligned with Dr. King's dream. You should take pride in that alignment, especially in this era when America's richest man, Elon Musk, demonstrated his and our president's indifference to the suffering of the poor by cutting off AID's life-saving food assistance and vaccinations to the poorest people on our planet. By way of contrast, you aimed to build a more just world. That's why you're in education. Why some of you are becoming educational researchers, teachers, school leaders, because you want a socially just society. Not cruelty or power tripping, but compassion motivates you, as it did Dr. King, who so movingly explained, I choose to identify with the underprivileged, with the poor. I choose to give my life for the hungry, for those who have been left out of the sunlight of opportunity. This is the way I'm going. If it means suffering a little bit, I'm going that way. If it means sacrificing, I'm going that way. If it means dying for them, I'm going that way. I'm going that way because I heard a voice say, do something for others. Your work, our work, matters more than ever in keeping this compassionate vision alive in these difficult times. My wish for you is that your success in the world of education will include service as part of American democracy's saving remnant, countering the Congressional Supreme Court and White House embrace of plutocracy and white supremacy. That you help ensure, as Lincoln put it at Gettysburg, that America has a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. So I congratulate you for your academic achievement and hard-earned doctorates. I look forward to your emergence as caring educational leaders and scholars. I leave you with one modest request: change the world.
Let's thank Professor Cohen for that rousing message. And before I ask the graduates to follow the directions of the staff, let's take a selfie. So, please follow the directions of the staff, and now we're going to proceed with the hooding and conferral of degrees. The PhD holders will be first, followed by graduates from the EdD and Educational Leadership Program, then the Global Executive EdD Program, and finally our graduates from the EdD in Organizational Change and Leadership Program. Each candidate will be hooded by his or her dissertation chair in alphabetical order by the chair's last name.
The following candidates are receiving the Doctor of Philosophy in Education degree. Emily Gonzalez.
Desiree Leah O'Neill.
The following candidates are receiving the Doctor of Philosophy in Urban Education Policy degree.
Alvin Ogembo Makori.
Jessica Leila Carranza.
Glenda Palacios Quejada.
Pedro, you joining? No. Pedro, come on.
Jimmy Aguilar. The following candidates are receiving the Doctor of Education in Educational Leadership degree.
Alexis Amador Teodoro Lopez.
Laura Kindren.
Rhonda Ray Fitzpatrick Overby.
Laura Cortez.
Alan Ye.
Ruben Lázaro Fernández. José Guadalupe Gómez. Kassira Ahmad.
Courtney Ziska. Christine Dominguez Neal.
Caroline Kumari Bhalla.
Bailey Middleton.
Alfredo Jesus Barcenas. Christine Dishian.
Philip Simpkin. Christine Rocha.
Jacob Gran.
Shannon Pixinine McGregor. Natalie Maddox Menjivar.
Nancy Lopez Hernandez.
Darian DeJesus Tate. Antonio Rosales Villagrana. Ihan Yachukwu Nkwocha.
Rhonda Jonette Alfred.
Jessica Emily Womack.
Yasaman Jahed.
Dana Denise McMullen.
Maria Carrion Phelps. Deanna Rose Avila. John Brubescas III. Robert Alex Kaufman. Elizabeth Farrell. Zoe Glover. Ana Guevara. Jennifer Henahan.
Natalie Zuravlev. Alexandria Rose Weissel Brown. Michelle Denise Nellen. Adriana Vasquez.
Carol D. Chang. Crystal Michelle Angulo. Sue Im. Kim Lee.
Anthony William Ponce. Sridaya Manjam Kumar.
Ishan Rose Connor. Miguel Angel Anzelmeri Jr.
John Douglas Mendoza.
Sandra Violeta Balbuena.
Beverly Valiente Yanwarria.
Alejandra Hernandez Perez. Estevan Hernandez.
David W. Pickard IV.
Evelyn M.K. Knox. Young Ho Daniel Choi.
Lon Uyen Tran.
Joshua L. Bean. Kelsey Johnson. Genesis Escobar. Felicia Rochelle Douglas.
Lujo.
Cassandra Destiny Casillas. Ashley Henney.
Maribel Ortiz Sanchez.
Karen Henriquez Rios.
Din Win Tai Win. Janeth Menjarez. Julie Rubio Shamblin.
Michelle Daniels Eschenborg.
Sarah Matthews.
Rochelle Espitia. Cecilia Cordova.
Megan McHale Serrano. Ruby T. Smart.
John David Daly.
Alicia Nezianya.
Autumn Ray Browning.
Stephanie Olmos. Ivana Maria Rodriguez. Jennifer Salvador Zanke. Rachna Sidhu. Erica Meza. Catherine Yuan. Alana Rivera. Brian Lane Stanley.
Blanca Gloria Hernandez. Thomas Henderson III.
Serena Wang.
Jocelyn Isabel Aguilera.
Jyoti Kaur Uppal.
Esther Govea. Katie Holtz.
Paloma Teresa Sayans. Stella Yegnanian.
Deja Ayana Floyd. The following candidates are receiving the Doctor of Education in Global Executive Degree.
Marcy L. Wombold. Jennifer Kathleen Tignetz.
Saivik Anapiosian. The following candidates are receiving the Doctor of Education in Organizational Change and Leadership degree.
Kesha M. Wise.
Daniel Elizabeth Harvey.
Dion Leslie Roberts. Patricia Orozco.
Michael Alcala. Corinne Barker.
Brian James Miller. Dihan Zhang. Kelly Pierre Louise.
Tierra Shanice Fletcher. Contraina Lore Evans.
Nadia Rivero. Zuleika Nathu.
Julius Norbert Lee Jr.
All right, baby.
Cherie Nicole George. Eleanor Marie Arabia.
Stephen Andrew Stump.
Adam Critchlow. Luis Batres. Boyd Corkins.
Locke H. Wynn.
Chandra L. Boone.
Benita Pleasant Barroso.
Amy Gabriel. Derek Brownell. Ryan Michael Doblato. Ernesto Camacho.
Chris F. Reed. Ndidi Amaka Delibe Matthews.
Greedley F. Harris III. Taibat Itunu Balogun. Noor Soraya Ayaudin Ali.
Eric Dontel Reynolds Sr. John Fitzgerald Peoples. Teresa X. Wynn.
Mickey Clowney Grayson. Ron Garrier. Carrie Ann Ennis. Olivia Bryce. John Miles Blankenship.
Eric M. Redwine. Jason Eric Meek.
Natalie R. June. B1 Kelly Guan Daniels.
Zulfikar H. Surani. Anthony Demetrius Richardson.
Antonio Ewing. Kevin Bentley.
Asia Danelle Penn.
Catherine Elizabeth Bonfield. Stephanie Evans Squalls. Stephanie Renee Coverson. Regina Lynn Tamsin Jones. Tim Chow E. Lee.
Andrea Mara Regano. Erica F. Miller.
Lucy Sanchez Abreu. Yifat Arnstein. Colin Hare.
Dawn Monique Williams.
Manivon Maikau Ki. Siklali Loya.
Priscilla Redmond.
Jason Omar Castro.
Nicole Michelle Ward.
Robert Dean Calvo.
Syria Perdome.
Audrey Marie Kelly. Claudia E. Guzman. Natalia Tonatiu Gonzalez.
Margaret Elizabeth Petrie. Amanda Molina.
Kolini Fepulea Ito Omalatai Coleman.
April Owens.
Iasia Jasmine Brown.
Angela Denise Scott. Demarie Parker. Michael Anthony Ramirez. Michael T. Pham. Mirta Villarreal.
Stephen Joshua London. Tamisha Elizabeth Beamerette Hunt. Mark C. Leahy. William Anthony Battle. Ryan Michael Gower. Nicolasa Kuster. Ryan Arthurton.
Rachel Jolene Need.
Meredith Butler. Anthony Mauricio Cadavid.
Marissa Iden Monroe.
Nicole Michelle Gold.
Mark Wygum. Karen Maureen Schur. Dweenita Tyler. Zuriel Oduole.
Hei Sang Kwak.
Michael Neil Novakovich. Jessica Rose.
Anne Margaret Pangilinan Beach.
Angela Young.
Pamela Yamamoto, Ireland. Monica Mariana Hingst. Marcus Darmaine Butler. Maurice Vincent Edmondson III.
Christina Waysade Sang Reveche.
Justin Andrew Doran.
Eddie Swafford.
Fritzik von Allen Jr. Stephen Gratwick. Erin Lynn Barrett Hunter.
Carmina Osuna.
Lavacia Kane Lobbins.
James Ross.
Brandon Michael Barrage. Christopher Laroon. Veronica Lawrence Ortega.
Estella O'Neill.
Stuart Samuel Goldberg.
Wow. You did it. Congratulations to the class of 2026. Before we close, I want to point out once again that this is another group whose contributions to your success are indisputable. Would all the family and friends of our doctoral graduates please rise and accept our thanks? And one more time, let's recognize our faculty. Would the faculty please stand? And since no program runs on its own, with just faculty and students, well, let's show lots of love to our staff. Please stand and be acknowledged. Once again, thank you. Congratulations to all the graduates. Thank our guests for joining us this afternoon. Please join our faculty and myself for a reception and photos on the Party Way lawn, adjacent to the area behind the stage. That's over there. Thank you to the USC Rossier School of Education, class of 2026. We wish you all the very, very best.
Congratulations, USC Rossier graduates. Guests, please join our dean, faculty, and graduates for photos and refreshments on the Party Way lawn. Fight on!